HCAM News is supported by our viewers and by Hopkinton Drug, located in this historic New England town since 1954. They are a multifaceted store dedicated to providing clients with an array of healthcare options.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's edition of HCAM News. Tom Nappy here to fill you in with what's happening in Hopkinton. On today's edition of HCAM News, hot acoustics and jumpin' Juba rock the town common. HCAM Intern-reporter Sidhi Dhanda caught up with Danielle Cook of the Hopkinton Public Library, plus much more. But first, Hopkinton Water and Sewer Manager Eric Carty sat down with me to talk weather trends and more. Hello, everybody. Tom Nappy here. We are joined by Hopkinton Water and Sewer Manager Eric Carty. Eric, how are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me on. It's always a pleasure.
I'm sure you guys have been keeping busy over there with all the wild rainy weather lately. How's things going over at the DPW?
Yeah, so what a contrast from last year. You know, last year we had severe droughts and couldn't buy a drop of water, and this year has been the complete opposite. You know, we've had close to 20 inches of rain since June, and a lot of that was in July, the vast majority of it, and we just keep getting these 2-3 inch storms that are just unbelievable and flooding. It's kept us pretty busy, especially on the sewer side, with the sewer system, trying to maintain the flows. Been a good year for the water supply side, although we did notice a trend that we've had a lot more service breaks lately, and I've noticed this in the past. In the years that we've had a lot of rain, for some reason we seem to get more breaks. I don't know, the water getting into the ground disturbs it, moves it around a little bit, but it seems to be a trend for that as well. But yeah, it's been crazy. I mean, you just look at Southern California had their first hurricane in 80 some odd years, and now the remnants of that storm is actually going to make its way all the way back here to the East Coast, and we're going to get a couple inches of rain on Friday from that storm. So we can't buy a break. It's been beautiful today, the last couple of days, but just storm after storm, and the humidity levels have been off the charts. We broke the record in June for most days. It was 27 or 28 consecutive days with a humidity level dew points above 65 degrees, just making it oppressive. So yeah, I'm ready for a break. I bring on fall with some nice crisp air like we have today.
And I must say, you predicted it. You said it has the potential to be a very wet summer and a humid summer as well. So as usual, I got to give you credit. You called it right.
Yeah, the people I follow, they had all the indicators there, and that's what they were saying. I don't think they expected it to be this much, but but they were definitely on and having it. So hopefully it looks like at least we're not going to have any severe heat in the next foreseeable future, which is nice. No 90-degree. We haven't even had a heat wave this year. We haven't had 3 90-degree consecutive days at all this year, which is quite surprising as well. So
we haven't had 3 consecutive 90-degree days this year.
No, we haven't. Boston has not either. It's the first time, and I forget how many years for Boston, but it's rare for it not to. Last year we had 4 or 5 heat waves, and a lot of those were extended. They were 5, 6, and up to 7 days of over 90. But right now it's the Midwest. Places like Minnesota, they've got 120-degree heat index right now. Their low temperature was 80 degrees for a low overnight in Minnesota. So just crazy what's going on.
Yeah, it certainly is. I would have thought in July that we hit that 90-degree 3-day threshold.
No, we came close. We had 2 days of 90, and then another one was, mid 80s. So it's semantics. It's a few degrees away from making it official. But
so, what's your prediction for the future? You just said it's not going to be overly hot. Things are going to cool down. Is the rain going to calm down? What's your prediction for the near future here as we wrap up summer?
Yeah, so the prediction of this, weather pattern that's been kind of crazy with the jet stream all over the place, starting to calm down. The tropics have really heated up That was the one good thing about this pattern that we were in. It was suppressing all the tropical waves coming off Africa. The wind shear was enough that it wasn't allowing it to develop it. Now with it starting to shift back up, I think we have 5 named storms all of a sudden out there, which thankfully most of them right now look like they're going out to sea. But yeah, right now that's the prediction is that the pattern should stabilize out a little bit, get weather back a little bit to normal. A little too soon for them to start predicting what's going to be happening for the winter, but just the setup with the oceans are so warm. They're at some of their record highs that they've ever recorded, and that tends to lead towards more moisture. So it's just going to depend on what part of that jet stream we fall on. If we're on the upper side, then it's going to be cooler and snow, and on the lower side, it's going to be more the same of rain. So we'll have to see how that plays out down the line there.
Well, I know we're overdue for some snow. The last 3 winters, we've barely had any. My prediction is we get a lot of snow this winter. We're just so overdue. What do you think is going to happen for the hurricane season? Do you think we're going to see a lot of activity? As you mentioned, there's already 5 named storms in there. It seems like the activity already getting heavy for this time of year.
Yeah, the Weather Prediction Center that predicts how many named storms they're going to be. They actually up their prediction by 4 or 5 storms after they've seen the way that the action has started to proceed. So we could get a few more of them. And unfortunately, with how warm the waters are, especially on the East Coast, if anything heads our way, that could be a little bit of trouble for us. So we'll hope that those steering currents can put them out to sea, or OTS as they like to call them, a fish storm, and keep them out there, because it's been a long time. Hurricane Bob was. I was just saw the anniversary. That was last week, I believe. That was our last hurricane. It was 30 plus years ago. So it's been a long time. So we've dodged a bullet for a while, and hopefully we can keep doing that, because now just with all the building, there'd be so much damage, and especially with how warm the water is, it could be a lot more intensive storm than we've seen in the past.
Yeah, and I hate to say it, but we're overdue for a hurricane as well.
Yeah, unfortunately.
And with the warm water, if it's going to happen, this year seems like a pretty good candidate for that to happen. So lately, or throughout the summer, I've seen there's been like 5 or 6 tornadoes in Massachusetts. There's been, I think there's usually 1 or 2, but do you think we're seeing more tornadoes than usual this summer?
Yeah, it's definite for sure, because the state average is 2 on a normal year, but it's definitely directly related to the humidity that we've had. That extra dew point, now most of them have come when the dew points have been way up in the 70s, and that extra moisture just gives the fronts, when they come in, a lot more energy to work with, and that's why there's been a lot more lately. When that front comes across, it's got more energy in the atmosphere. When those two collide, that's caused the increase. So it's directly related to the Gulf of Mexico moisture and humidity that's been coming up our way.
Yeah, we might have to get some of those sirens around here like they have in the Midwest if this keeps up. Well, Eric, how's the DPW doing as far as projects going into the school season? They almost got everything wrapped up to get ready for the school season.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, the biggest thing that the highway always does a paving plan every year. And just due to this weather, they've been set back. The contractors haven't been able to get out there to finish the roads, because normally they get them all done before school, but that got delayed with all the rain there. So there'll be a little delay in getting that portion of it done. And just with the rain in general, we've had some jobs that we've tried to get done, and we've had to work. Everything has been weather related. So around the rain. So we're either working because of the rain, or we're not being able to do the jobs that we need to do when it's not raining.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm sure that's one of the many reasons you got into weather, is it's a big part of your job.
It is, yeah. We try to plan on stuff of when we can get it done, and it's all related to what we do here. But whether it's the rain, the drought, or the snow, it's all related to DPW. So it's nice to try to keep an eye on it and have somewhat of an idea what's going on. It's not always right on predicting it, but they've got a pretty good science going.
Well, I'm sure you guys like this more than so intense heat.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll take 70s every day of the week.
Absolutely. All right, Eric. Well, thanks for filling us in, and we'll certainly do it again in the very near future. And as we get closer to winter, we'll certainly catch up with you again. Best of luck. We'll talk to you again soon.
All right. Thanks, Tom. Take care.
HCAM reporter Sidhi Dhanda caught up with Danielle Cook of the Hopkinton Public Library. Here's a look.
So you actually planned to be a librarian. It's a deliberate choice that you made. So how did you decide librarian is what you wanted to be?
So it was kind of a split-second decision. I was just married and was looking for jobs in the area where my husband lived, and I found a posting for an archivist at a university nearby. And I looked at that and I said, that's something I could enjoy doing for the rest of my life. And so when my husband came home that night, I said, guess what, honey? I'm going to grad school. Admittedly, at first I thought that I was going to be an academic librarian, that I would work in a college like the posting that I saw. But once I started working on my degree, I learned a little bit more about public libraries and started working in those. And it's worked out great so far.
So how did you end up in Hopkinton?
So I first started working in Hopkinton in 2019 as the part-time technology librarian. So I kind of got a toe in and then found that I really, really liked it here. So when the position for adult services librarian became available, I applied for that and got it. And then more recently, when the reference supervisor position became available, I applied for that one. So this is actually my second promotion here in Hopkinton. And I really like it here, which is why I keep applying for positions here.
So you mentioned it was a split-second decision to become a librarian. So what did young Danielle Cook think she was going to be when she grew up?
Young Danielle Cook had no idea, but she was adamant to everybody who saw her reading and told her that she was going to be a librarian, that she was not indeed going to be a librarian.
So people predicted that you'd be a librarian?
Yes, multiple people told me when I was little that I was going to be a librarian, and I was like, no.
It's funny how that worked out.
I know, they were all right, much to my chagrin. Well, much to my then chagrin. Now I'm happy with it.
So there's been, I think, a lot of changes in libraries because of COVID and just because of new technologies emerging. Has it changed a lot since you've come into the profession?
It hasn't. It hasn't. You're right that a lot of the how to phrase it, maybe methods that we use to provide services have changed, but the services themselves haven't changed. So we have seen since COVID and during COVID especially a really big uptick in the number of people using our audiobooks or using our electronic databases because they're easier to access from home, which was very important when we were closed. But at the end of the day, those folks are still checking out books. And so one of the things that have been integral to libraries from the beginning is books. So that's still the case. Similarly, during COVID, we started offering programs remotely, so folks could watch via Zoom or HCAM sometimes. And so I would say that at our core, we've stayed the same, but maybe the way that we do some things have changed.
So yes, you're right. Books integral to libraries, that makes sense. But I know Hopkinton Library has more than just books. They also have the Library of Things, which you are a main force behind. So tell us about that program. It's really interesting.
Yeah. So I really love our Library of Things. It's something that I actually started working on in a different library, and then when I came to Hopkinton, that was one of the things that they were excited about for me as a candidate, was that I had led that initiative in other libraries, so I had some experience with it. Our Library of Things here consists of a number of different items, and we're adding stuff regularly. So most recently, we added some musical instruments. We have an electric keyboard, a ukulele, and a guitar. We've also added a child carrier for hiking, which the Trails Club donated, so that's really great. So if you've got a little one whose legs aren't quite steady yet, you can put them in the carrier and carry them with you, which is fantastic. And we also have items like craft supplies, so knitting needles, crochet hooks, looms, those sorts of things that folks might want to try first before jumping in and buying a bunch of stuff. We've also got some very small home maintenance items, like an energy monitor to try and figure out what appliances you have that are pulling tons of energy, an outlet tester, humidity monitor, so just little things that folks might want to use to determine weak points in their home or things that they can improve upon. And we've got board games and tabletop role-playing game kits. And like I said, we're adding stuff all the time. I know that children's items are a big thing that folks have been asking for. We're working on that. We've got some kinks to work out with that before we can release that stuff, but it's on the way. And we're just really excited about it and excited to hear how the community is using the things that we're offering, and excited to hear what sorts of things they think would be useful to them that they would like us to loan.
What would you say?
We are going to take a quick time out. You're tuned in to HCAM News, a whole lot more ahead. Don't go anywhere. HCAM programming is supported by our viewers, thank you, and by Phipps Insurance Agency, representing companies such as MapFree Insurance. Their family-owned independent agency is deeply rooted in the communities they serve and offer time-tested insurance products to fit individual needs. Since 1950, Phipps Insurance specializes in home, auto, business, condo, and renters insurance. Welcome back to HCAM News. In the past couple of weeks, Jumpin Juba and Hot Acoustics recently rocked the Hopkinton Parks and Recreation Concerts on the Common series. Here's a look at both performances.
Magic in the air, over in the corner, much to my surprise, Mr. Hughes in Dylan's shoes, yeah, wearing his disguise, but it's alright now, I learned my lesson well, you can't please everyone, so that's to please yourself. Say la 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 la, that means a da da, that means a da da, la 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 la. I sang more the old song, thought that's why they came. No one heard the music, the street where the poor boys are playing, bringing their gold tag to beat. Just to hang around. And if you got a nickel, won't you lay your money down? Over on the corner, there's a happy noise. People come to pile around and watch the magic pour. Down on the corner, out in the street, where the poor boys play, bring a nickel, take a beat. Down on the corner, out in the street, where the poor boys are playing, bring a nickel, take a beat. Down on the corner, out in the street, where the poor boys are playing, bring a nickel, take a beat. Hey! that you say, Mrs. Robinson? Joke that you has left and gone away. Hey, 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 hey.
Time to tell you about a couple of happenings in town you should know about. On Monday, September 18th, mark it in your calendar and save your spot now. It's the second annual Emergency Fund and Women's Club Golf Tournament. It'll take place at the Shining Rock Country Club in Northbridge. For more information, you could visit hopkintonemergencyfund.org or hopkintonwomensclub.org. And you can also find information on our website, hcam.tv. On Saturday, September 23rd, from 2 to 9 p.m., it's Hopkinton Family Day at the Hopkinton High School Athletic Fields. Join for some fun for all ages, some great entertainment, and more. The annual Hopkinton Family Day, Saturday, September 23rd, from 2 to 9 p.m. Our picture of the week, or one of our pictures of the week, I should say. The Hopkinton Community Summer Band performed at the Hopkinton Parks and Recreation 2023 Concerts on the Common series. You can view a whole gallery of this performance at our sceneinhopkinton.org, courtesy of Denise Untaki. And here's our real picture of the week. Killer Sports getting ready for the fall season. It was the first day of practice on August 18th, and here's a look at the teams getting ready for the season ahead. We look forward to bringing you Hopkinton Hiller sports all season long on HCAM. Upcoming town government meetings include on Wednesday, August 23rd at 6 p.m. We'll have the Select Board meeting. On Tuesday, August 29th at 6 p.m., we'll have the Elementary School Building Committee meeting. Catch those live on HCAM. To view all upcoming town government meetings, head over to hcam.tv/gov. And for more information, you can visit the town website at hopkintonma.gov. Believe it or not, we are out of time for this edition of HCAM News, but don't worry, next Wednesday at 6:30 p.m., we'll be back. For everyone at HCAM, I'm Tom Nappy. As always, we thank you for watching. Take care, enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll talk to you again soon. Goodbye, everybody.